ومريم ابنة عمران التي أحصنت فرجها فنفخنا فيه من روحنا وصدقت بكلمات ربها وكتبه وكانت من القانتين.
In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, we beseech Him in His infinite mercy to send His blessings on the noblest of mankind, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, and those who thread his path till the day of resurrection. Welcome to another interesting episode of your program, our program, The Virtuous Woman. And today on the program, we're going to be talking about how you can take care of yourself in this glorious month of Ramadan. It has to do with what you eat, how you eat them, and what proportion you should take them. Today, we have our honorable guest in the house, and she's going to be talking about diet in Ramadan. Join me after this short break to meet my guest.
إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والقانتين والقانتات والصادقين والصادقات والصابرين والصابرات والخاشعين والخاشعات والمتصدقين والمتصدقات والصائمين والصائمات والحافظين فروجهم والحافظات والذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات أعد الله لهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Bushra Olagud and I'm going to be your host on this segment as usual. Our honorable guest in the house, Dr. Muminaat Oladipo Badman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome to the show, and how is the family and how is work?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Today you're going to be talking to us. I've told my viewers at home, I'm sure they are really anticipating to hear lots and loads of new things from you today. I've told them the topic is diet in Ramadan. What do you have for us, Doctor?
Thank you very much. Sure. Ramadan, like we all know, is a blessed month in which Muslims fast for 29 or 30 days. In Ramadan, Muslims will have limited food, relatively, as in we eat 2 major diets rather than 3. Ramadan is really not meant to make us malnourished or make us eat less food or make us have less nutrients, but rather Ramadan is very, very important. It gives us opportunity to be healthy and fit. Ramadan, as ordained by Allah, means we are going to eat sahur at the dawn, as we all know, and then stay hungry or without food for some hours until sunset. That is when we take our iftar. So, what is a balanced diet? A balanced diet is a diet that has all the classes of food, usually 5 or 6. And these classes of food include the carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats, vitamins, minerals, and water. When a Muslim wants to eat, even out of Ramadan, there are certain things that we need to put in our minds when we are going to eat. Right. In Ramadan, we have to take more cognizance to all this. Because in Ramadan, we know we are going to stay without food for some time. So all the things are going to be taken into special consideration. And what I'm talking about is that in Ramadan, there are some important things to note when we want to take our food.
All right.
We should try to be sure, we should make sure that our food, whatever meal we are going to take, has a lot of fibers.
High in the morning or in the night?
Both sahur and iftar.
Okay.
But majorly at sahur.
Okay.
Our food should have a high fiber content.
All right.
Another thing is that we know we are going to stay hungry for some time. So at sahur, we should try to make our food heavy, a bit heavy, depending on what our system, individual systems are different. So depending on what our system can take. we should try to make our food a bit heavy. And then it should be hearty, not just heavy. Then we should also make sure that both sahur and iftar, our food should have carbohydrates. That is what we mean is carbohydrates that really makes our food heavy. Our food should have a lot of fruits. You know, we are used to saying iftar fruit, iftar fruit. We should also have it at the back of our mind that sahur, we should also try to take fruits.
So we should start including fruits
in
as part of our sahur.
As part of our sahur meal.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
More so, aside the carbohydrates and the fruits that I've talked about, we should ensure that we put vegetable, irrespective of what type of vegetables we are going to put in our meal. We should put a lot of fluids. If we can afford to buy fruits, we can make it fruit juice. If you can't afford that, water is okay. And aside that, we should include nuts. This is what many people don't take very important, but it is very important. Nuts like groundnut, cashew nut, walnuts, and all the likes. So all these are very, very important. Meat, fish, or eggs. Usually people talk about eggs with having a lot of cholesterol. It's been found in recent research studies that the cholesterol in egg is not too bad for us. It's not, it really doesn't pose cardiovascular risk like people think in the past. So we are allowed, we can take eggs as part of our meal. So all this, by the time we put all this into consideration, we will see that our food will have all the classes that I had mentioned earlier. The carbohydrate, the protein, the fats, the fats. Fiber usually is not just carbohydrates. Fruits have a lot of fiber. There are proteinous foods that have a lot of fiber. So our combination of all the things we put up to make our meal is what is very important. And all that, we include all these classes of foods that I said. So if we put all this into consideration, we will see that all the classes of food have been duly represented. And then we'll be having a balanced meal or a balanced diet. So to make this complete, I would like to say again that we should try to put mild exercises. Many of us are not used to this, and it is a thing that the Prophet ﷺ has encouraged us to do as Muslims. We should, early in the morning, do exercises as much as we can tolerate.
I think I really need to ask at that point. The exercise, will it come before sahur or after sahur?
Well, it depends. There are some people that have been doing some exercises before, that have been used to doing exercises routinely.
Outside Ramadan?
Outside Ramadan.
Okay.
So if we have been used to it, we should try to maintain the time we have been doing it. But if we haven't been doing it, we shouldn't take we shouldn't do our exercises before sahur. After sahur, we wait, we pray our Salatul Subhi, then after Salatul Subhi. If you are going to take a short nap, you could make it even after the short nap, before you start your early day course. But if you are not going to have a short nap, you could make it after Subhi, then you prepare for your normal daily outings, and then you continue with your normal daily activities. Okay, so let me go on. So with all this that I said, I would now like to make up examples of what we can give ourselves as
a kind of diet,
a kind of meal recipe,
timetable,
so to speak. So for sahur, we said we want a heavy meal. So what we are going to do, we can make the swallows, like we say, eba, amala, wheat, which has a lot of fiber. Pounded yam is allowed. We can take pounded yam. We can make it with vegetable soup. Ewedu soup. Ewedu is also vegetable. Okra, vegetable. So with whichever type of soup we like. Then we put fish, meat, and then plenty water, as in a lot of fluids. After this, if you have juice, you can add to it. If you don't have juice, your water is okay. If you don't have aside the water, you can now put fruits. The preferred fruits, as the Prophet ﷺ has stated, is dates. This date is very, very important. Many of us just feel dates. Why dates? Yes, dates has fibers. It gives us a lot of energy. Aside this, dates also gives us a lot of vitamins and minerals. It has some protein content in it. And so we can see even date itself on its own can give us a lot of, is represented in all these classes of food that we have talked about. So we can take dates. So if we don't have dates, some people don't have access to dates, we can take any fruit that our hands can be laid on, like watermelon, banana, apples, golden melon.
Do we have a particular time that the fruit has to be taken, like, is it before food or after food?
Well, it depends on you. Some people like to take it before food, but you could also take it after food.
Okay.
That is for sahur. So we can see with our amala, eba, vegetable, water,
Meat
or
or
fruit
fish?
juice, meat or fish. If we can't even afford meat or fish, we can make this dried fish,
Okay.
put it in our vegetables, as in
Mix it together.
mix it together
Okay.
and take it with our swallow food. We can also put shrimps.
Okay.
All this, they also have high protein content, and it will suffice for our fish or meat.
Okay.
Then for iftar now. For iftar, well, it is preferred that when we want to break our fast, we should start with fruits. Break your fast with fruits. If you don't have fruits, then water. That is the best for us. As the Prophet also, as Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has told us. Meanwhile, from research, recent studies have shown us that taking fruit on an empty stomach has been found to prevent colon cancer and some other forms of cancers.
Wow.
So we can see it is a very, it's an advantage or a benefit for Muslims. We are the ones that fast and keep our stomach empty or hungry till a particular time. And then usually, we know it's a very common practice that we break our fast with fruits. And with this, we'll see that we are preventing cancers from getting to our system. So, for sahur, as I was saying, for iftar, sorry.
Okay.
For iftar, we start with fruits. After fruits, we can take a light meal, like pap, custard, or cereals. After which we can observe our salat, and then we can take other meals like rice with stew, with egg, little vegetable.
Or plantain.
Or plantain, you could have plantain, that will give us vitamins, minerals. You could have, and it has a lot of potassium, so that's also good for us. So you can put plantain, that's if you can afford it anyway. So you can put plantain, banana, or any other fruits to add to that. Then make sure you take a lot of fluid.
Okay, that's
that
also
is very,
important.
very important. We should make sure we take a lot of fluid. If you can afford juice, like I said earlier, we can take juices. And if you can't, we take water. That's just good enough for us.
Okay.
So with all this, we'll see that eventually we'll get a balanced meal. And eventually, if you look at it, we have had 3 meals. Because people think that when you're fasting, you take only 2 meals, you are going to lose weight, you are going to be malnourished, you are going to be sick. No. That's not true. Because when you have taken all this, you see that eventually you are taking 3 meals. Some people would like to delay their major iftar meal till after Tarawih. We have to be careful about that. Because after Tarawih, you get tired and you just want to go to bed. So we should try as much as possible not to make our iftar too close to bed. After we have taken the light meal, pray Salatul Maghrib, take a little rest, and then take your major iftar meal before you go for Isha and Tarawih. As we know, usually Isha and Tarawih usually go together.
Yes,
so it is better you take your major iftar meal before you go for Isha and then Tarawih. Okay, so what benefits does this give us?
All right, Doctor, just before you go to the benefits, let me remind viewers at home that it's still your program, The Virtuous Woman. If you're just joining us, you haven't missed. Join us after this short break.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين فمن ابتغى وراء ذلك فأولئك هم العادون والذين هم لأماناتهم وعهدهم راعون والذين هم على صلواتهم يحافظون أولئك هم الوارثون الذين يرثون الفردوس هم فيها خالدون.
Welcome back aboard. It's still the program, your program, our program, The Virtuous Woman, and it's been a time out with Dr. Muminaat Oladipo Badmus, and she's been taking us through diet in Ramadan. You're about to mention the benefits.
Yes. I'm just going to say a little about the benefits that we get from this kind of meal in Ramadan. The first is this kind of meal with fruits that is balanced and everything makes us fit and healthy. It protects us from oxidative stress. This is what leads to cancers, and that is what we talk against these days. And this will be done because we take a lot of fruits, dates, apples, all of them have a lot of antioxidants, and all these antioxidants will protect us from the oxidative stress that can lead to diseases, cancers, and all the likes. Then aside that, it helps us to assist our excretory system.
The fruits or the food?
The fruits, the food, everything together.
Okay.
Especially the fruits and the vegetables will help us to our excretory system to function properly. Then the water we also take. And this it will prevent us from a lot of problems, constipations, problem of even ulcers. When you take food that's really your food the transit time is reduced, you really cannot excrete properly, it can predispose us to ulcers because of reflux. So all this we can see, even absorption of excess fats. It will prevent us from that, and all this obesity and all the problems that predispose to cardiovascular risk are avoided too. And then aside this, uric acid is also not absorbed in excess, and this prevents us from gout and all other diseases that are associated with uric acid. So we can see that Ramadan is an advantage, is a lot of plus for Muslims, and we should make sure and try hard as much as possible to maximize from all the benefits that Ramadan has for us.
Doctor, thank you very much for where you have started and where you have stopped. I assume you haven't finished yet, because I'm sure some of our viewers are just joining us and they're probably just hearing the Amala and the Eba. They really don't know what we are talking about. It's still diet in Ramadan. My question is this: there are some people who are not just predisposed to eating at sahur. Is there any way it is going to affect their diet or their system?
Well, it's not too good not to eat at sahur. If you feel that your system is not okay enough to take a lot of food, then you can take mild food that is not heavy, like the pap, these custard, cereals. You can take all that, and that will suffice. It will be okay, because it's not the weight of the food, but the content of what you are taking in.
I was about to just ask something related. In Ramadan, even though we eat just iftar and sahur like you mentioned, there's this tendency to eat more in Ramadan, probably because of the craving that it's been a couple of hours you've not eaten, and then when it's iftar time, in fact, you feel that people really want to eat what is meant for 3 days in just that night. People tend to eat rice, moi, plantain, take juice, take fruits, take everything together. Is there any way it affects?
Oh, yes, my sister, we can take all that. It is good for us to take all that. But what we do is that we take them in little quantity. We don't take too much of each of them. All of them together, like we said earlier, if you can remember, make a balanced diet. But if you take them in excess, you are predisposing yourself to a lot of problems. You could have diarrhea, you could have constipation. The system that has been rested for some time, just rushing a lot of things is not too good. So I think we should try to avoid that. Take a lot of things, yes, it's allowed, but take them in small quantities. And if you look at it, the Prophet ﷺ has even told us, to excess of everything is not good. Islam does not allow us to just take. No. And then by doing that, you would have the essence of Ramadan is no more fulfilled, because it's supposed to make us remember those that don't have food to eat, the poor, So if you take all that, then you have not fulfilled the essence of Ramadan. So we should take them in little quantities. That are good for
There are
us.
some individuals that during this period of Ramadan, of course, majority of the people feel that by the end of Ramadan, we should be able to see a noticeable loss in weight, of course. There are some people who really add weight. Is it because of they're not eating or their eating habits? Some people are always so concerned. During Ramadan, I always put on weight. What's the problem?
You see, I had said earlier too that Ramadan really doesn't mean that we're going to lose weight or we're going to be malnourished. We are still putting what we eat into consideration. We consider what exactly we are going to put in, as in the content of the food that we're taking. And once you take the balanced diet, you are going to have energy, you are going to have your body tissues built up as usual, as supposed, and then you are not going to lose weight. You are going to be as normal or even put on weight. So it really, Ramadan is not a punishment.
So it's not a bad thing that you're not losing weight in Ramadan.
No. It's very good. It's a good thing.
There are some people that because of probably they are very choosy when it comes to eating, or because health-wise they don't take beans, they don't take eba. Some people are tilted towards taking the same set of food throughout Ramadan, and then you see sahur, it's rice, and then iftar, it's rice, almost throughout the. Does it have any implication at all?
Well, it may and it may not.
Okay.
The important thing is, like I said earlier again, is that the content of what you eat is what is important. As in the composition. Not is either rice, beans, whatever it is. Make sure that the composition of what makes your meal is a balanced one. Contains all the classes of food that we have mentioned. So that is what is important.
Okay. Aside taking it a little bit, we need to digress a bit from diet now. What are other health tips that one should actually take care of during Ramadan? Aside the eating, since it's not just about eating and eating, is it the type, your level of the hours you used to accumulate, that you used to sleep, or the kind of exercises that you can do? Are there limitation restrictions when it comes to health issues, taking care of yourself in Ramadan at all?
Yes, it is important. It is important that we note there are some people that have specific health problems.
Okay.
The hypertensives, the diabetics, the ulcer patients, they all have to take care of what they eat in Ramadan. If they want to fast, they know what their diet has been like. So they must make sure that they maintain their diet, the diabetic diet, the ulcer, the diet they've been used to. That is what they should try to maintain. Then putting in exercises, I'd said that too. Putting in exercises will also assist us very much in Ramadan. Then our sleep. Well, we know that in Ramadan we like to put up a lot of ibadah. Ramadan is a month of ibadah. So definitely our sleep will be reduced. But what we should try to note is that we should try to have sound sleep. Irrespective of the hours of sleep we're going to have, the sleep should be sound. And what will make it sound is putting off all things from your mind, making sure after the normal day's work, you have eaten, you have said your salat, you have done everything, and you have properly rested for the night. So, and as much as possible, we should try to have not less than 4 hours of sleep. It is better to, the required sleep period is 8 hours. But usually we know with our situation in this country, especially Lagos State, it's a bit difficult to have that. So we should try, if we can make 6 hours of sleep, it's good enough. 4 hours is a bit small, but if you can still have that sound enough, then we'll have maybe siesta during the daytime. That would make up for what we have lost for the sleep.
Okay, like I said, we really have to take care of a little bit of digression here. How about for the nursing mothers? And you know, they have to breastfeed their babies, at the same time also take care of themselves. Will they need extra intake of food to be able to take care of their children?
Well, for nursing mothers, what is very important is fluid.
Okay.
They also need a balanced diet. If they take so much, it may give them problems. So they take the normal quantity that the system can take.
Okay.
Make sure they take a lot of fluids, both at sahur and iftar. And then make sure that they don't do vigorous work during the daytime. Okay. And all this. If they have high fiber diets too, it will assist them to prevent the long hours of hunger. The food stays in the stomach, and for some time they can maintain themselves before it is time for iftar. and their babies will be okay too.
Doctor, at this point, this is where we need to say goodbye to our viewers at home. I'm sure you have been able to learn one or two things. It's diet in Ramadan. Aside just fasting, you need to take care of yourself. You need to watch what you eat and what quantity you take them. Like I always say on this program, The Virtuous Woman, we talk about everything and anything that is Islam. We try to make you see the comprehensiveness of Islam. And over time, we've been discussing important and sensitive topics. You need to take care of your health. Don't say because it's Ramadan time I could do and undo, and then after Ramadan I'll take care of myself. Watch what you eat, watch when you eat it, and in what quantity you take them. Dr. Muminaat, it's been a very wonderful time on the program. Thank you for coming around. We really appreciate it and we hope to see more of you. Join us same time, same station for another episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Today you become man and wife, fulfilling the sunnah as way of life. Today you'll find serenity. May your life be filled with sincerity. There is no happier day in your life than the virtue of being man and wife. There's joy without any end. Allah's blessing on this day does descend.